Welcome back to the pod, guys.
Yay.
So, wait, you got to open up why we have these cans sitting here.
They can't even see them.
Well, they can now. Okay, this is the product that we're talking.
You got the wrong one. Lot of women.
This one is for girlies. This is a cool can.
Want to open it up?
What is it?
Don't smell it.
Okay.
Then you might not want to take it. But this is bison organs. So bison spleen, bison testicles, bison liver, bison heart, all different parts of bisons for different things. This is to jumpstart energy. So if you want to have energy, a little bit extra energy in the day, take this one. This is a Vital Women. So this is like an all-around multivitamin for the women. It's actually been studied by the University of Utah to have 600% more benefits than standard beef organs. So yeah, it's basically steroids, but not. Then you have a fine tune. That's for all the little things you don't get in everyday nutrition.
So we have the woman's. We have, what is this, for everyone or men?
Jumpstart, yeah.
Everyone. And then we have
Fine tune.
Fine tune.
And then you got human potential, which is kind of like the superhuman multivitamin.
There you go. So if you want to be superhuman and take steroids without needles.
Yeah. That's legal.
Yeah, that's legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good selling point.
Yeah, and you don't die from them.
You won't die, and they're legal.
Possibility.
So, off to a great start.
Right.
Okay, this is Cameron and I's third podcast. Okay, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. New sponsor. You didn't catch it because the camera was off, but he just said, "There you go, ma'am," which is
There you go,
hilarious,
ma'am.
because that's not something people say in California.
Well, they say, "There you go, sir."
No! They just go, here. Here. Okay, so this man is not from California.
South Carolina boy. This is Nutri-Life. This is another sponsor I'm picking up. They have energy drinks, all natural health benefits. Ashwagandha, is that how you say ashwagandha?
Yeah, ashwagandha.
Ash or something. And so it helps with, relaxation and what else does it do? I think penis recovery.
No, no. Didn't you say serotonin levels? No. Yeah, you did.
Anyways, it's basically a multivitamin energy drink. Nothing like the human potential. Two different things. Human potential is a multi-everyday vitamin. This is to replace the Red Bulls, the NOS, the Monster Energy. They got several different flavors. They're up and coming, so yeah, keep an eye out for them as well.
And if you're like me that loves a sparkling bevy, it's sparkling. In California, the big selling point of ashwagandha is that it makes you lose weight. But you were talking about earlier that it...
Depression. It helps with depression. Yeah. It helps with...
Yeah, and that's why it helps you lose weight, because if you're stressed out, so it lowers anxiety.
Cortisol,
that was it, yeah. So it helps with your cortisol level, which will then end up making you lose weight.
Is that pouch at the bottom?
Yeah.
You need to stack this. Human Nature and Nutri-Life. So let's get to it.
Let's get to it. We already got to it. We got to getting. I'm all over with my podcast. And here's the thing. I don't have any sponsors. So anything you see on my podcast, it's only because I actually support the brands, because ain't no one paying me to say this shit, right? So
they pay me, though.
They do pay him. But I do support this man because I support what he stands for. And it's very important for me and my particular audience. I have women and men watching to be like, what is healthy masculinity? What is healthy femininity? Like, what should you look for? What should you avoid? So I think a fun little topic to start with today, well, we have two topics. One is fighting. I thought that was inappropriate. Okay. And the second one is driving, because I feel like driving is like such a good analogy for like all of life, but especially for relationships, because like, what is a relationship? It's a constant power control thing, right?
Yeah.
And like, in order to be in a healthy relationship, just like in order to be in a car, you can't have two people with the steering wheel.
Correct.
So, and if you have one person that's constantly, only when it's necessary will I grab the wheel. But if you have two people that are constantly like fighting over the wheel, you're going to crash and you're going to die. But we were talking about something earlier, so I want your opinion on what, how you feel when a woman gets in the car and is just like annoyed as shit at your driving.
Dude, that is the biggest, probably most annoying thing for us men is when we are trying to drive somewhere and we have a woman beside us in the passenger seat and we're just trying to get to point A to point B and we're keeping everybody safe. We're still in the lines, but we might be doing this, we might be doing that. That's different from what they are doing. And the most annoying thing in the world is having a passenger seat driver because you're just trying to drive. You don't want to be annoyed. You just want to drive. Get there, be done with it, right? And then they want to sit there and just run their mouth and tell you how to drive. It's like, then why aren't you driving? Why don't you drive and I'll get on Facebook Marketplace and scroll, or I'll go play some blackjack on my phone. But the thing is, they want you to drive, but they always got an input. So I feel like that's kind of one of the most annoying things. Like if I go on a date with someone and the first thing they are doing is nagging about my driving, we are probably not going to go on a second date. Just because if you're going to be nagging about my driving, what else are you going to be nagging about?
Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a small thing.
No.
Really
Okay,
is.
so
If you're going to complain about such a small thing, then it's like, what else is this going to turn into?
No, 100%. And I think that is why first dates and in general, like getting to know someone is for observing how people act, what they're doing. So for me, like when I'm in a car with a man, I'm judging how he's driving and I won't say shit, but I am calculating. My little brain is like, eh. So I had one time on the alternate side of this kind of story, I had one time I was in a car with this man and it was a truck and it was just very, what do they call it? Napoleon syndrome? I don't know. He did check in and ask like, are you okay with like my driving? Like can I drive a little crazy? Like he did ask, but he was driving like a maniac. And I was like, noted, you don't care about me living. Like it was too much. I'm all for.
Well, he asked you. That was your problem.
He did ask.
That was your fault.
He did ask.
You should have been like,
but there's a line.
Stay
There's a
65
line.
and under.
No. There's a line. There's like your driving. Okay, so I've seen your driving, and then there's like just straight. And my driving can be suspect as well. My dad has pointed out that I can be a bit reckless. So So there's, I think, a line. But then there's also like, I'm going to trust you. And how far are you going to take it, right? This was clearly showing off. It was too much. It was like trying to
immature.
Yes. It was like speeding on the highway. Like I'm talking like insane just because I got a big truck. I can like cut people off and like go crazy.
Little dick syndrome.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So I think for a woman, like first of all, it is a big reflection of you. If you're going to sit there and like nag, don't nag. That doesn't do anyone any good. It's better to just, like for me, I didn't say shit about it, but I didn't respect him after that. Like noted. That's it. You don't have to like nag and go on about it. Like choose, if you don't like his driving, don't get in the car again. Like you're not going to
drive.
Yeah.
You drive next time.
Yeah. So that's my thing on that. But okay, talking about nagging. I think nagging is a great topic, okay? Because it's even in the Bible, okay? It's specifically in the Bible about like a woman who nags. I don't know. It's like some. But here's the thing. I personally think that like there's also an extreme on the other way. And I feel like I, at some point, have gone the other extreme where I'm so afraid to be like that naggy woman that I'll just shut the fuck up and not say anything. And then it will build and build and build. So like you also have to be able to be like, hey, like this is kind of something that's come up for me. Is there something we can we work through this? And I think and that leads into the next topic of fighting.
Yeah.
If you fight correctly, some women, and I think it's the older generation. I don't really feel like the younger generation does it as much, but I don't know. I haven't dated a bunch of women, so maybe
a lot of beta men nowadays.
For sure. But women that like nag, I feel like was more of our moms and our grandmas. Sorry, ladies. But like that was more of a thing. I feel like women aren't so naggy anymore.
No, I feel like they're way worse.
Really?
100%. You look at the older generation, they didn't nag about taking care of their family or cleaning the house or doing chores or just everyday life. People nowadays have become so entitled to things, became entitled to such energy, entitled to being spoiled. And it's like, I feel like in today's generation, they nag 100% more.
So let's define nag. What is nagging? Because to me, it's like complaining.
Well, are you talking about just in general? Are you talking about in a relationship?
Both, but in a relationship, how do you define a woman nagging?
In a relationship, like, to me, difference between nagging and having a conversation with your man could be like, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. Like just coming in and just hearing yourself talk.
Yeah, okay.
And if you have a healthy conversation.
Talking at someone.
Exactly. The last thing a man wants to do after coming home at the end of a long work day is hear someone say, you did this wrong and you did that wrong. When a man knows they're out there providing for their kids and their family and whoever's in that situation, right? And so the last thing we want to hear when we come home is, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Be like, hey, babe, I know you had a long day today. I'm proud of you. Why don't, when you get time, if you're able to do this, or hey, maybe I'll help you do this if you feel up to it so we don't have to do it tomorrow. The tone that you approach a man after a long work day, or just in general, I feel like the response is different. If you come at me aggressively, I think as men, we automatically put that wall up and be like, who are you talking to like that, right? But you come at us respectfully
I noticed that with this one real fast.
Yeah. You come at us respectfully, and it's not like walking on eggshells, but it's just a respect thing. You come at us respectfully after we worked all day and be like, hey, let's do this together. Or, hey, do you mind doing this when you get a little extra time tonight? Your response is going to be 100% different.
Yeah, I think I've used this example before of big fat Greek wedding. I think that's what the older generation of women, like our grandmas, really understood. It's not that they didn't want those things, okay? Because every woman wants stability, or he didn't do this one thing that's been driving me nuts. It's just that they understood how to get it done, right? And like I had this two different examples. This one guy that was at my last retreat, his wife, that woman, and they were like in their 70s, and she's like, you're my king, you're the best man in the world, you make our family so happy. Like I was looking at these texts, she's like, oh my gosh, you're the sexiest man on earth.
Do whatever in the world for that woman because
that's what he was saying. And I was like, he is so smitten. He's like, I'll bend over backwards, I'll go to war for this woman, like, because she knew how to speak to him. And the other example was in my big fat Greek wedding, these two women, the mom and the aunt, wanted the daughter to like go to school or something. So they were like, we have to make it like his idea. So they...
Duke, no sir, go.
So instead of being like, you should really let her blah, 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 they were like, they planted it. And then he was like, I've got an idea. We should have her do it. And they were like, oh, babe, you're a genius. And then but I honestly think that
I want to kind of stop you in there.
A middle
How
ground.
old were them people?
Old.
How old? Like, if an example.
60s.
Okay, so that's where I feel like the old generation and today's generation, their priorities have changed, right? In the old generation, they cared about stability. In the old generation, they cared about a loving, loyal man for his family. In today's generation, they just care about what they can, and this ain't directed towards you or anybody specifically. This is just in women in general. I think in today's generation, just want the freedom to do whatever they want. They want to have 100% control in what they do, what they can say, and where they can go. And they just want to have financially supported. I feel like in the older generation, it was, I want that love connection. I want that to know that my man knows I love him, and I know that he loves me. In today's world, they don't really care as much. They just want to be able to do whatever they want to do and be financially supported for it.
It's a priority shift.
Yeah, and that's why today's generation has went from the divorce rate went 10 times what it used to be in our grandparents' age era, because it's like, for one, you got social media. So like the ability to find a replacement and to have another option is so quick compared to then, that they would actually sit in their problems, focus on it, and fix it. Nowadays, the moment there's one problem, they're like, oh, I could find another man to like my picture. This man right here is already in my DM. I can just go to him. But it's not going to be the same connection. And they don't realize that until they're 6 months down the road and they realize what they lost.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of the media, social media, but also like the media, like movies. Because what I think is that like people, they want like the butterflies. They want, like you said, like to be financially supported. And
In today's world, it's so hard to survive. And so that's
it
all
is.
they care about is, let me have a man that can take care of me financially, give me these nice things, give me what I want. But I also don't want to be told what to do and who I can talk to and who I cannot talk to. And I feel like you should stay single then. And that's the problem, is people in relationships nowadays don't want to understand there's different things and standards that you have to go by from when you're single to when you're in a relationship. Because you're not just thinking about yourself anymore. You're thinking about your significant other, how that affects them, how it makes them look. And people that aren't able to switch that mindset turn into these narcissistic people, I feel like. Because at the end of the day, like, if you want to be able to go do whatever you want, talk to whoever you want to talk to, and have that 100% freedom like you claim, then stay single.
Well, that's why polyamory is like skyrocketing. And I think it goes back to like, again, the media has told us in this like fairy tale version of what love looks like versus what it actually is. Because that's the thing with the older generations. Like, my grandma didn't feel butterflies all the time. No good marriage does. Eventually that feeling goes away and you choose to love. Like, a biblical love is a choice, not a feeling. And we've created this whole culture over, I should feel this sort of way. So when I stop feeling it, I should be able to just go get it elsewhere, right? Or like, and the thing is with the polyamory whole culture, it's like, oh, well, I still want to feel respected, but be able to like make my choices. I can't get everything from one person, so I'm going to need now multiple people, instead of being like, no, I can't get everything from one person, so I need to go to God, and I need to go to like my female friendships to get those things, and I need to look inward. But that's hard. That is hard work. When you're not getting the love and attention because your person isn't feeling good that day from your person, instead of looking to someone else, which is easy because it's right on your phone, but instead of being like, you know what, I'm gonna go for a walk, I'm gonna go do a breath work, I'm gonna go meditate, I'm gonna go journal, I'm gonna go pray, and I'm gonna get that same validation that I can't get from my person because maybe today they don't feel like it and they're not up for it. So I'm gonna look inward and upward for it, but that's a lot of work for people, and people don't wanna learn how to meditate and don't wanna dive into, also, they don't wanna dive into like having strong female or male friendships, because guess what? Those friendships aren't as fun. They're going to call you on your bullshit.
It's troubleshooting too. A lot of women and men, they don't want to troubleshoot. They don't want to get past the issue, self-reflect, figure out what it is, what they could do better, move forward and grow. They want to take the easy route, and the easy route is, let's just be done and we'll just go find somebody else.
I agree. It all goes back to communication as well. For me, especially as a stronger woman, I wouldn't say like I'm alpha, but I'm like alpha leaning. I have to consciously choose to submit.
Correct.
I have to consciously choose to like not fight or like change that language, because my language with people in business especially and other women is going to be very, you did this and this is not acceptable. And actually, it's what actually makes a good woman better to marry, is that you know that she can operate and talk like that, but then all of a sudden she needs to switch it off with her man. And that is the hardest part right there.
I will say one of the things that I have changed my mind over the years is I used to always say that an alpha man cannot date an alpha woman. And that's because they're both trying to fight for control. But I've realized over the last couple of years that is possible if you have a submitting alpha woman. If a woman that knows when to love and cater to her husband and put her pride to the side, they can still love an alpha man. Now, don't get me wrong, like, an alpha man's got to be able to be willing to do the same in certain situations. But I feel like if you have an alpha strong-headed woman and an alpha strong-headed man, that's like the unbreakable power couple, right? But it does take a lot of work, more work from a woman to have to sit there, reassure her man, understand that she can bring out that feminine, whatever, however you say it, bring out that soft side to her, to be able to be like, hey, I just want to let you know you're loved, you're cared for, and all of this. Because at the end of the day, like, even as an alpha guy, that is all that they want, right? And so it's one of them things, like, you don't always have to be in competition and battle with each other, as long as you respect the relationship boundaries and everything that y'all have put on the table. Like, this is what you need. If that is being given, then it's an unbreakable bond.
Yeah, I appreciate your acknowledging that, because like that's huge, because it is so hard, especially when, like, for me, I was brought up very soft. I was brought up very beta.
Yeah.
Like my nature, I was that kid that like, if someone fell, I'm the first one running over there helping them. And I had to unlearn that. And I was brought up in the church, right? So I was very like, do whatever for whoever, be kind, be giving, be whatever. And then I realized she doesn't know how to say no. You have to train yourself to actually be assertive and be like, you can't speak to me that way. You can't look at me like that way. Like, that's not respectful. This is a workplace.
Yeah,
I
no,
have a husband. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to learn that and then turn it off in your marriage.
All of them conversations have to be held in private. The worst thing you can do is try to correct your man in public.
100%.
I feel like
100%.
correcting your man in public there's a disrespect there. That as this men, if we're in the wrong, pull us to the side later on to, hey, I think you're in the wrong here, but I'm a supportive woman, so I was going to support you in the time being. But that's a private conversation.
Yeah.
If a man's in the wrong, you don't call him out in front of other people, because now I guarantee you that will be a respect for you that he lost that he will never gain back.
Yeah, because it's embarrassing them.
Yeah.
And I think it goes both ways. Mm-hmm. Like, if a man in public is like, puts down his woman, first of all, everyone's watching. I think the way you treat each other in public is, there needs to be like a standard. So the moment I see either party disrespect one another in public, I'm thinking, how the fuck are you in private if that's how you're going to treat them in public, you know?
Well, there are going to be a bunch of people that's going to jump on this and be like, that's part of the fake image people put for social media, but it's not it being a fake image. It's just you keeping the problems in your relationship in a secured place and not bringing it to the world's attention. Because if you bring it to the world's attention, you're going to get somebody's peace of mind from every different angle. You're doing wrong. You were right. You were wrong. You were right.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever happy. And I've realized in my success as I've went up, the more success I get, the more people that are unhappy that hate me, right? And so it's like you got people that are there for you and people that don't like you just because they're not where you're at, or because of this or because of that, or because maybe they felt wronged by you at one time and you're succeeding. Like, life's a process, and I feel like life is one of them things. Like, you have to understand that you're always going to have someone's opinion, and it's never going to be what you want to hear. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. At the end of the day, you just do what makes you happy, and you do and follow your morals and boundaries to yourself and your relationship.
That second part more than the first, though, because our culture will be like, do what makes you happy, and that's what gets people fucked up. Let's go off of that.
Welcome to our next Pornhub video. This is the couch scene.
What did I do the other day? I did a gym video, like a very nice gym video, and someone commented, this looks like a porn.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I was just in the gym doing a workout video.
You was probably doing a workout and you went.
No, I didn't.
And looked at the camera, and when she looked at the camera, they was like, yeah, this is a porno.
I did not.
This is her OnlyFans, link below.
Guys, I do have an OnlyFans. These are them. Those are my OnlyFans.
The dog and man. That's disgusting. You'll get reported in society.
Seriously though, do what makes you happy. Where's the danger in that?
Well, doing what makes you happy might not always be right. I feel like that can be I feel like that can always be a battle. And I agree. You said you don't agree with do what makes you happy. I personally do.
I'm not saying I don't agree. I'm just saying that's there's a way to do it correctly and a way to not do it correctly. Like, are you gonna, if it makes you happy to like smack me, are you gonna do that?
Do what?
Smack me in the face.
If that makes someone happy, then obviously you're with the wrong person.
Okay, true, but you get the point. Like, you don't always do what makes you happy. You do what makes you happy for the most part. And you definitely should do, but there's also like within moral grounds.
But when we say that, we got to talk about the normal population here. We got to act like we're talking to the normal amount of people. And on the normal amount of people, if you say do what you're happy, they're not going to go up to their wife and smack them. You know what I'm saying? Like, the messed up ones might.
Yeah.
But the normal ones are going to do what makes them happy. I truly believe that that's a big thing, because if you are constantly doing that, what doesn't make you happy, it tears you down emotionally, mentally, physically. And then when you are not yourself, you can't pour into anybody else.
Yes.
And I've realized that. That's something I've really grown on the last couple of years. I used to always just pour. But was so against like, oh, self-help, mental health, because what I love to do so much was help other people. And so like if I was in a relationship, I would pour into them, but I wouldn't set time aside for myself, because pouring into them was, in my mind, it was doing for myself, because that's what made me happy. I was a big giver, right? And when I realized I wasn't getting what I need, my must-haves back, then I was lost, because it's like, not only did I not give to myself, but she wasn't giving me what I needed. So now I didn't have anything, and I fell completely apart. And that's why I feel like it's very important to do what makes you happy, because if you're doing that, you're pouring into yourself to a degree. So when situations do fall apart, you still have yourself, you have that mental health, you can get back up on your feet.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing what makes you happy, then you hit that wall where you didn't get what you needed from somebody else, and you didn't get anything from yourself.
Yeah.
And now you're at rock bottom, and you got to build your way back up.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that it's about it's like the airplane. You put your mask on before you help someone else. Like before you put your kids, because you can't help your kid if you're dead.
Yeah, correct.
Right. But I was just saying that you got to make sure that you're doing what makes you happy within
reason.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because our culture today will be like, well, it makes me happy to have 7 boyfriends, so I'm going to do that. Okay.
I think a big thing would be for men, I feel like the normal generation nowadays is, if someone says do what they make them happy, they're going to go out with their boys on a Friday or Saturday night and leave their woman at home. And I feel like that's where it's wrong at, right? Because if you have a woman, family, your relationship comes first before anything, right? If you're going out on the town with your boys and not putting your girlfriend or your wife as a priority, then yes, that's wrong. And then you probably shouldn't be in a relationship in general.
I think that's a huge thing. I think a lot of people get into relationship before they're ready, because they just want to be in a relationship.
They love the idea of being in love. They love the idea of a family. And then when you get in relationships and you have to stop doing certain things, now when you're in a relationship, you can't just go downtown with your girls and go party. You can't just go out and talk to all your little guy friends you used to have. You have a family now, you have a man, and that needs to be your priority, and that needs to be your focus. And if you actually nurture that, it will turn into such a beautiful image. But the moment that you nurture that and then turn around and go off a different direction because you're having an argument, or because you're having a rough week, or because you had a rough week at work, and you're not on the same page, if you don't work together to nurture that back into a healthy spot, then you can very easily take a right turn, and it takes forever if you're even able to get back on that path.
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to, so what does appropriate fighting look like? What is a fight that actually, I was just reading about this in the book my pastor's wife wrote, there's a way to fight in a way that can bond you, and a way to fight in a way that will bring you further apart. If you end up saying stuff you're gonna regret later, so don't fight. And for me, I'm if something is bothering me, what I've learned about myself is I need to hold my tongue and wait a couple days and see if it's still bothering me then, and then I can bring it up. But another thing that I feel is a bad habit is, again, going back to if something's bothering me, especially because of my track record, holding it in, and not saying anything because I'm afraid they're not gonna want me anymore, I'm gonna get in trouble, or I'm gonna get yelled at, or whatever. You have to bring that stuff up, or it will fester and pop.
And that's where we've all done it, right? We've all said things we shouldn't have. We've all argued unhealthy before. I've been on both sides of it. I've been the bad guy and I've been the good guy, right? You learn and you just try not to repeat, correct? And so I feel like what you're saying, it also depends on the person. You got some people that are not prone to conflict. They just rather keep it in and see how long they can hold it and just hope they get over it. That's not me. I'm sure you've seen that in just everyday things. If something bothers me, I say it right away. If someone pisses me off, I say it right away, right? And so it's I have to learn to hold my tongue, but you're not going to see me hold it until the next day. I have to learn to hold my tongue, try to process it through my mind for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Then I'll try to say what I say. I used to be a very unhealthy type of argument person. First thing I resorted to was, I felt like I needed the control of the argument. And it was you come at me aggressively, I immediately was who you talking to? Blah, 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 blah. I was don't come at me like this. And it comes into a shame point game, right? And I feel like that's what I've had to learn over the last years is learn to not point fingers, learn to sit there, listen, self-reflect. Did you agree? Did you disagree? And I feel like that's when it comes down to a conversation. I will say one of the best things you can do is not try to argue in a car. And I say that because there's no way out. You're driving down the road, you're both in the car, and an argument spikes up. Guess what? Now that tension's in the car the entire time, and you can't get past it. You're driving down the road and it's recirculating the entire time as you're driving because that's all you think about, right? So if you have a disagreement, I truly believe, and I've learned that myself over the last years, is that I will get super heated in an argument in a car because I can't walk away. And so you don't want to just get out of the car and go walking down the road. That's immature. And I've done it. I've done that, And so it's like, I've learned like that's not healthy.
Yeah.
And I feel like if there's an argument, I truly believe you wait for an appropriate place. And that's something I've had to learn really hard over the last couple of years. Yeah.
I've never thought about that. Yeah, because you're stuck, and then you're just like, and you can't, and then you want to jump out of the car, but you can't because that would be insane. You
don't go walking down the road because you're in the middle of nowhere, and then you're arguing, and then it just turns into like a FU game, FU. And the next thing you know, now you've stacked 10 more problems on top of the original problem.
Yeah. And I think that's the book I was just reading. They said, like, have some ground rules for when arguments come up. Sure. If an argument comes up and we're driving, we're going to table it. And first of all, it's good to table it and process for like 30 minutes. And then we'll go over it when we're not in a car.
There's some people that can't. And I'm one of them people, right? If I got something to say, I want to say it right now. I don't want to beat around the bush. I don't want to think about it. I want to get it out, right? And I'm sure a lot of men are like that in general, especially very business-like men, right? A lot of business-like men, they're very adamant. They're very forward pressure, front foot forward, and it's like, what they got to say, they're going to say, and that's how they.
But you've had to learn to not.
There's no successful businessman out there that doesn't have a backbone. Because if you don't have a backbone and you don't come forward and you're not able to say what you got to say, then it's like you probably get taken advantage of, right? Yeah. And so I feel like this is really more directed towards business type men, because if you're in a car and you get in an argument, in your mind, you're like, how am I supposed to get around this without saying? Because I want to say it, and it's like on your tongue and it's bothering you while you drive. Maybe make a detour. Maybe pull in at that parking lot at the Walmart and go inside a Walmart and shop around for a second. And you just got to get up and move. You got to get it off your mind, And so I feel like if you don't do something immediately for some of the men out there, then it's going to spark into an explosive argument in a car. That's something I've had to learn. That's the way I am.
Yeah.
It's just...
But knowing yourself and knowing that ahead of time is...
And a lot of people are like, well, you can change. Well, that's the thing is, what you have inside you cannot change. You can change to a degree by little things, but you can only change the reaction, right? And so the way you change the reaction is you change the steps it takes to get there. Yeah. So I've realized that a lot. Like I said, if I get heated inside of a car, and I see a Walmart right there, I don't even need to go to Walmart, but I'm gonna pull over, walk around for 10 minutes, cool myself down. That way I can have a mature conversation about it.
Yeah. And I think that's so important, is just to have the things in place. Like, okay, if this happens, what am I going to do? And you won't know if you don't think about those things ahead of time and decide, like, what are they? Like, for me, I will, like, okay, if I'm having things fester, I'll write it down and decide if that still mattered that much 3 days later. And then I have to bring it up. But I have definitely come to the conclusion where, one, the problem ends up solving itself 3 days later. Two, I realized I actually was PMSing and I really don't care that much. Or three, if it's still bothering me, I bring it up, but in a way that's like, hey, like,
and that's good for y'all to see, because we're two different types of people, right?
Yeah.
She'd rather hold it in and learn to express it in a day or so, or see if she gets over it. I'm not that way. I need to get it out now, or I'm not going to get over it, right? And so it's you write it down, you try to come with reason. I got to go do something to calm myself down so I can talk about it within reason. And then I might talk myself out of being angry, right? And so I think that's just where we're two different people at. But as long as you both know how to
you have to know yourself,
work its way out. And the only way you're going to learn is through trial and error. So anybody out there that's like, I've never done this, I've never done that, is a BS liar, because I've done all of this and I've done all of it. And the way I've learned is through trial and error, and like, okay, you can't act this way, you can't do that, you can't get mad about this, you can't get mad about that. And it's just that's part of growing up, I believe.
Yeah.
And maturing.
Yeah, just knowing yourself though too, like,
Yeah.
and knowing your like attachment styles, and your
Triggers.
arguing, yeah, your triggers, your arguing style, knowing all that stuff and being aware and letting the person know ahead of time. Like these are the things you should be going over like early on in dating, so that when they present themselves, you already know later on. Like,
And-
okay.
And one of, like you said, all the things going on early on. And I know there's people out there, because I've been in the same situation where they're like, I went over all of that. I told her what I had to have, my must-haves, and that's what I call them. There's must-haves I need to have to be in a happy relationship. And it might not be what someone else or maybe the normal generation has, but for me, there's certain things that I have to be happy, right? And I know there's people out there that have been like, I've said this and it still went south, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where you gotta really pay attention to them red flags early, no matter how much you like somebody or how beautiful they are, how, head over heels you are for this person. I've been there. If you see a red flag, know your worth right away and learn to step away and see if they fix it or if they don't fix it. Don't stay in a situation because you feel like you're invested, right? To a degree, it's worth staying in a situation and working through it. But early on in the relationship, if you told them your must-haves and they're not paying attention to that, get out while you can, because if not, it's going to turn into a toxic, just washing machine cycle as years go on.
If you are the type that shuts down, like me,
If you
tell
have
them.
anxiety attacks and you get overloaded, that's normal. If you have a panic attack and you're like, oh my God, go check yourself into a mental hospital. Because
Maybe go to a psychiatrist. Is what he's meaning.
they're going to give you a medicine and act like what you have is it's okay. Everybody has them. No, they're not. You're just mentally fucked up in the head.
Oh my God.
And that's true. There's some people that you just can't help. So what do? They slap a label of medicine on it to make it like it's okay. No, it's not okay to act that way.
So, okay, but you need to get appropriate help. If you're having
need to go
panic
talk
attacks,
to somebody.
You need to go talk to someone, which is
Yeah.
that was the next point in a rule to have for arguing is it's not a failure to reach out for help. That is very true. And then the last one, and then we're going to be done. These are all rules that are good
Our
to have in
next
the back of
topic
your...
is going to be panic attack versus anxiety attack.
Okay.
I think that'll be a big thing in the dating world.
Let's do it. And the last one is always remember that words spoken can be forgiven, but they can't be unheard. So choose your words carefully when fighting. And that's on fighting. Thanks for watching.
Thank y'all.